And when we win, we're going to have a second renaissance in this country and appreciate it. Because you don't really appreciate something until you've had to fight for it or until you've lost it and then fought for it and gotten it back.
I couldn't agree with you more. I'm looking forward to that day. And I intend to be here when that day happens.
Well, so many times in history, tyrants and tyrannies collapse. I think Gandhi, to paraphrase him, said it looks like the dictator, the corrupt leaders are invincible, but then suddenly they just collapse. You got to just keep throwing the punches in there and not giving up, knowing we're going to... That's like George Washington. When he finally won the war and they surrendered, he was stunned for several hours and didn't believe them, didn't understand after 7 years of fighting.
Right.
Stay there. Wayne Paul, always amazing. This is his maiden voyage on radio with us. Got a host of issues coming up. You can run on for a long time.
You can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later,
I like the Texas Ranger credo, which is actually borrowed from one of the founding Texas Rangers. A man in the wrong can't stop a man in the right that keeps on a-coming. And that's what we've got to do. Because these people mean business. We're fighting. Short segment right now, long one coming up. I wanted to get to some of the things that Wayne may never have talked about on air first. Then we'll get back into solutions and where this country's going and his brother and the family and now one of his nephews, Rand Paul, looks like is going to run for the Congress. But go back to your rural upbringing, some stories about you and your brothers, about Ron, and about what it's been like for you. Well, how you woke up, how he woke up, or were you guys born awake, being born to, hard-working farmers, dairy farmers, all of you guys working from the time you were about, 6, 7 years old. Were you guys born awake, or what was the process like? Let us into a window of the icon that is your brother, Dr. Ron Paul, and yourself, of course.
Okay. We were born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Small rural town, and my mother and father had a dairy milk processing and delivery business. It started out in the basement of our house, and my mom and dad worked 7 days a week to process bottled milk and deliver it. And we were always required on Sundays to go to church Sunday morning, and my dad took off enough time to go to church. But he worked 7 days a week up until I was in 5th grade. Now, I'm the youngest of 5 boys. Ron is the middle of the 5 of us. So we claim he's the spoiled one in the family because the 2 oldest ones paved the way for him. And then we were never allowed to do anything, but we always say Ron got away with all of it. I'm saying that because he can't rebut that on this radio show. So be careful. I might deny that later on. Anyway, my revelation into this knowledge started back in the early 70s, and it had to do with my representation of a taxpayer who, after I started to represent him, he ended up 6 weeks after I met him passing away. And it was a direct result of the confrontation he had with the Internal Revenue Service.
Oh.
And I said to myself, if this is the way it is, I'm not going to ever do another tax return because something's not right in the system. So that was my awakening call, and that started my research, my documentation, and everything that I've learned from that point on has held me in better stead, made me better understand. And I think when people understand and learn, even if they can't do anything about it, they're better off morally, they're better off spiritually, and they're better off in their dealings with their fellow man. That makes all the difference in the world.
What woke your brother up? Tell us about Congressman Ron Paul, your brother.
Well, I think Ron's timing was the fact that when he was in college and medical school and working, he always had spare time. And he got involved in research and study of Ludwig von Mises. And von Mises is the father of free enterprise Austrian economics. And there's a von Mises Institute that's in existence today that's extremely successful and continues to support free enterprise economics.
And it's headed up by Lew Rockwell.
That is correct. And it made a lot of sense to him, so he started to apply it not only in his professional life, but in his personal life, and was extremely successful in the implementation of free enterprise economics. And it was at that time that he started to formulate the idea that he needed to teach this to other people.
All right, stay there. Let's continue with this on the other side and also talk about your saga. You've had quite a story as well. And then we'll open the phones up for Wayne Paul, brother of Congressman Dr. Ron Paul. 1-800-259-9231. 1-800-259-9231. Stay with us. PrisonPlanet.tv is the website.